Here's how you can generate $100,000 in tax write-offs with no money out of pocket. When we think about real estate, people tend to think about investments for very wealthy people, someone who has a lot of money, maybe someone who's older, very well established. If it's someone young, maybe like a trust fund baby. But the reality is, real estate investing could be done with very little or maybe even no money out of pocket. At the same time, tax savings could be available as well, even though you might not come to the table with any cash. So my client, Christina, she was a second grade teacher, and a couple years ago, she decided she no longer wanted to teach. She wanted to do real estate full time. So she is a rock star real estate investor. She does some flips, she does some wholesales, and she has a portfolio of rental properties. But she's at a point where she doesn't have a lot of cash to reinvest into rental real estate because a lot of her money is tied up in fix and flips. So she was chatting with a neighbor of hers and realized that her neighbor actually owned a 5-unit small multi-family in the local area. The neighbor was complaining to her about how he was really tired of doing property management and dealing with all the tenants. He really just wanted to be able to travel freely with his wife. But his problem was that if he sold his 5-unit, he would have to pay a ton in taxes because he's owned that property for so long. And because he didn't want to pay the tax, he thought his only option was to hold on to the property. So what we worked with Christina on is to talk to the seller about selling the property to her using seller financing. The benefit for the seller is that when you do seller financing, you get to defer the taxes on the associated gain. So for this neighbor, he wouldn't have to pay taxes on all of the gain he had on that property. He could defer the taxes over time as he received the note repayment from Christina. So that really allowed him to get rid of the day-to-day headaches of the property while not paying a lot of taxes. And like many people who are, lifelong real estate investors, the neighbor was really happy to do this because he's still getting cash flow. Just now, instead of rent, he's getting that cash flow in the form of that note repayment as well as interest that he would be earning. For a lot of folks who've invested in real estate all their lives, they're not looking to sell to then just park their money in the stock market because real estate is what they've known forever. So it worked out to be a great deal for the neighbor. Now, let's talk about the tax benefits for Christina. Remember, Christina bought this rental property from the neighbor 100% seller finance. Even though she didn't put any money down, the entire purchase price that was agreed upon for this property was about $500,000. What that means is for depreciation purposes, we can depreciate the purchase price of the building regardless of how much money was put down. So with this $500,000 rental property that was purchased, Christina was write off a little bit over $100,000 in taxes using accelerated depreciation. So you can see with no money down, Christina was now able to control this rental property through ownership. She was able to also get a tax write-off based on the full purchase price of the building itself, both of which with little to no money out of pocket on Christina's end. With our demographics, there are a lot of people who are now retiring or nearing retirement age. And a lot of these people who have been investors for their whole lives, a lot of them are facing the problem of, hey, I want to get out of the day-to-day of my rental real estate, but I also don't want to pay high taxes. So if you are a buyer, you are in the market of getting rental properties and you're open to creative financing or seller financing, this is a really great opportunity that could be a win for the seller where they can get rid of the day-to-day headaches, but also still have cash flow in the form of seller finance note without paying a lot in taxes. And for you as the buyer to get into real estate with little to no money down and also reap all the tax benefits of a traditional purchase as well. If you like this, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more real estate tax tips. And if you have comments about how you've been successful in using seller financing, leave a comment below.